Okay, so hello, Jill.
Hi.
So you're here at the Women's March in the Pentagon. Why are you here for this?
I'm here because this is ground zero. This is ground zero for the survival of humanity and the survival of our communities, really, because we're being robbed blind by the war profiteers and the political bipartisan system that is in bed with them, that is depriving us of our hard-won resources, our tax dollars, the lifeblood of our communities is being literally poured into that building right over there, which is eating up 57% of our discretionary budget, on its way to being some 68% very soon, if you also include the expenses for our poor veterans who are not cared for well enough.
This is called the Women's March on the Pentagon. Why do you think it's called? Why is it a women's issue?
Well, life and death are women's issue. Our communities are a women's issue. Feminism is incompatible with militarism, and to truly stand up for the cause of women, we have to be standing up for all women. It's not okay to be bombing other women's children and other families' women, and feminism inherently recognize the unity of the human family, period.
And regarding you and your political contribution, do you plan on running for president in 2020?
I don't plan on it. I put it this way: I'm not trying to pursue that, and we'll see where it goes. If I were pressured, I would seriously consider running, but I'm not making any commitments right now. I feel like I've run twice, and it's really good for a party to spread its resources and develop new leadership and so on. So I'm really mostly focused on helping other candidates right now. We need a big movement, and that movement needs to be in the street, and it needs to be in the voting booth at all levels. So that's really the focus of what I'm doing now.
Great. And what about the Democrats intimidating voters against voting for the Green Party? Saying that that's putting Republicans in. What's your response to that?
The party to abolish slavery, initially the Liberty Party and then the Republican Party, were all denigrated as spoiler parties, spoiling it for the power mongers that were in charge. So of course they're going to smear their political opposition, and that's happening big time right now. We're in another era now of McCarthyism. Some people have suggested we should call it Maddowism in honor of its latest proponent for warmongering, censorship, and the suppression of political opposition. But we really believe that the solution for a struggling democracy is not less democracy. Political opposition is core to what democracy is all about. We should not be in the business of sanctioning two establishment parties, both funded by big banks, fossil fuel giants, and war profiteers. There's nothing more crushing to democracy than silencing debate and political opposition. But this is the era that we're in right now, and this is very much in their interest. This is an extremely self-serving smear campaign, and we really encourage people to recognize the facts. The facts are that most Green voters come from the largest voting bloc out there. It's called the non-voters, people who refuse to cooperate with a brutal and violent and manipulative political system, which is throwing us over the cliff and throwing working people under the bus. So we really encourage people to stand up and forget the lesser evil and fight for the greater good, recognizing that democracy is critical. If people are concerned about the hypothetical divided vote, pass ranked choice voting. The solution to a threatened democracy.
Say that quick, slower.
The solution for a democracy on life support is not less democracy, it's more democracy. And if people are concerned about the hypothetical splitting of the vote, well, let's make more democracy by giving people more choices through a simple voting reform. It's called ranked choice voting. The people of Maine just passed it. They had to pass it twice because of the resistance in their legislature, but they passed it overwhelmingly. More people came out to vote, and candidates are more collegial because they're all competing for each other's second votes. So it's a win-win for all of us. The only reason it's not being passed is because they're not really interested in preventing the hypothetical split of a vote. They're mainly interested in maintaining their stranglehold on power. That's not good for anybody. I'd say call their bluff. Challenge them to get out and pass ranked choice voting, or at least work for that, instead of blaming and shaming voters who refuse to go along with a corrupt and brutal political system. Let's not blame those who refuse to go along with that corrupt system. Let's blame the corrupt system. And furthermore, let's fix the corrupt system.
Okay, thank you very much, Jill.
Thank you. Great talking
for
with you.
everything all the hard work you've done.
All the hard work we're all doing.